Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary and here we talk all things houseplants with a bit more emphasis on Hoyas. In today's video, I'm going to discuss and tell you a little bit about variegated Hoyas and more specifically my personal top 8. And yes, this will be a video which is a part of the 8 mini-series. So as you can see, I'm not sure what you can see, to be honest. I am surrounded by Hoyas because I brought all my top 8 variegated ones in close proximity, and I think that we should get started. Alright, so first one is the heuschkeliana. Before we start on the 8 Hoyas that I'm going to present you today, I want to explain or to say a few things about variegation. So all the Hoyas that we're gonna see today also have a non-variegated form. For the majority of them, either variegated or non-variegated have exactly the same needs. I would say maybe the variegated versions in general need a little bit more light, just because they have less green, so they cannot photosynthesize as easily as a non-variegated plant. And this is standard for all plants, not just Hoyas. But let's get started and we'll go through more details as we see the Hoyas. So the first one is the Hoya heuschkeliana. And I will personally say that my favorite is the inner variegated version. So this is my inner variegated heuschkeliana. You can see here. I have this one in semi-hydro in pon, DIY pon to be more precise. And this is one of my 2 inner variegated. The other one I have at the office. You can see that one if you want as well in my office plant tour video. Now this one I got relatively soon. I didn't get as a very small cutting. I got as a sort of established plant. And I'm saying so because when I got it, it had both root rot and root mealybugs. Now it's fine. This one I have completely restarted the plant, and actually I was afraid that it might not be able to make it, but she thrived. Like, she went like a champion. I put her in semi-hydro and now no issues whatsoever. So heuschkeliana in general, the heuschkeliana first of all have the both inner variegated and outer variegated versions. I'm going to show you a small sample of the outer variegated one, which is this one. Actually, I have quite a few outer variegated. I do prefer the inner one, and apparently if you compare the two, you see the inner variegation is much better in general. You see that the white is much bigger, and the plus thing, which both the inner and outer variegated have, is the back of the leaves. So if you see the back of the leaves, it has this sort of, I don't know how to call it, this wavy pattern. So it's I don't know, it's just very pretty. And the outer variegated has the same pattern, it's just not so visible in general. Outer variegated, as I said, I have quite a few plants, and this is because I originally, I'm not sure if I had shown to you before, I had a very big plant. I got it as an established plant already because that's the only plant that the supplier had to sell. It's easy to root in general, so I wouldn't mind having a smaller, like small cuttings. But I guess that this supplier wanted to sell this heuschkeliana because it was full in root mealis, and it was also in soil, like pure soil, dirt. So as you can understand, that didn't go very well in general, so I ended up having this one plus 2 more plants and all those in my mini prop box that I eventually need to transfer to, you know, like pot up. So far I have just let them here. Anyway, so heuschkeliana in general, I would say that personally I do prefer the inner variegated one. It's much more vivid. I like the color better, and it's popping a bit more compared to the outer variegated one. Now, this is the first one, and in general I would say it's quite easy to grow and take care of. Both variegated and non-variegated heuschkeliana are, I would personally consider easy to care for. So yes, I would definitely recommend, if you want one and you do not have the variegated version, whether the inner or outer variegated, both are excellent choices. Now, next one. Alright, let's go with this one because it was poking my eye. This is my cumingiana, the outer variegated version, as you can see here. And cumingiana in general, okay, this one I got, I'm trying to think, it's a recent acquisition. The first one I lost it because it was one of the plants that I lost during one of my summer trips, and it could not be saved. But this one is like I have for maybe less than 6 months, 7 months, something like that. I got it as a very small tiny cutting, and this is all the new growth that you can see here. So it's growing very well, it's growing fast. In general, cumingiana is a fast grower. You can see here it's very forgiving in general, whether you have the variegated version or the normal cumingiana, which by the way I know that you can find in big box stores very often. Go for it. Very easy to care for, very forgiving. This one is and also, according to my experience, extremely thirsty as a plant. I have also in pon, in semi-hydro, and you see all the root system. It dried up because I just didn't realize that the reservoir was empty, and it started losing the leaves. So this is a very good example that, you know, it lost some leaves, yes, but it still continued growing, no issue, no root rot, no dry rot that led to root rot, nothing. Very good root system in general. Very sturdy plants. Even my normal cumingiana, which, hold on, let me try to bring for comparison. By the way, my normal cumingiana is full of sulfur because I have not yet cleaned her up after her winter treatment. And also, as you can see here, I have of course forgotten to water this one. They are extremely thirsty, so but very easy to grow. So yeah, very fast grower, both of them, both the variegated version and the standard version. If you can find the variegated version, I would highly recommend that one. In general, okay, all variegated Hoyas are in principia a little bit prettier than the non-variegated versions, but still this one also very easy to grow, very easy to care for. Tiny leaves, small, not tiny, but yes, small leaves, very cute. Now, next one, which one should I go to? Alright, I'm gonna talk about Bella. Bella is also comes in both inner variegated and outer variegated versions. Bella, I don't know, some people say that first of all it's a very thirsty Hoya, Bella is notorious for being thirsty. This is why if you do have a Bella, whether this is the non-variegated or any of the variegated versions, I would highly recommend semi-hydro. Now, I do have a small sample here at home of the outer variegated version. My beast, and it is a beast, I have at the office, so the mother plant is at the office. I will make a b-roll for you, but I had also shown it in my office plant tour. But you see how pretty the Bella is. So this is the outer variegated version. Sorry, you were seeing the back of the leaves. And let me show you the inner variegated version. Bella is one, by the way, this is an inner variegated that has sort of reverted. Have in mind, a lot of plants, a lot of Hoyas can revert to the original form. We will go through about this towards the end of the video, but you see there is a bit of still variegation, but almost nothing. This is a better comparison for you. So this is inner variegated, and to be honest, in between the inner variegated and the outer variegated, let me put them side by side if you can see. Bella is probably the only Hoya that I do prefer the outer variegated version, and this is because the green can be so dark, and usually the white is quite contrasty, let's say. This, okay, is not bad, the inner variegated, but it is not stark white. It can be for more mature leaves, because usually they start in a more greenish color and then they turn more white. But in general, I would say that my personal preference when it comes to Bella is the outer variegated. I would consider both of them fast growers, easy growers, extremely thirsty plants, like this one, for example. So you can understand, this is a cutting that I took from my mother plant, like that big. This is actually, let me count, 1, 2, 3 cuttings, like maybe 3 nodes, 2 nodes or 3 nodes, less than 3 months ago, 4 months at like tops. This is the size that it now has, and of course Bella is branching out by herself, so even if you have one cutting, it's quite easy to get a much bigger plant very soon. Just remember, if you do have Bella, or if you are looking to get a Bella, go if you are familiar with semi-hydro, because they are thirsty. Among with the cumingiana and my multiflora, I would say these 3 are probably my most thirsty Hoyas. So yeah, this is Hoya Bella. Now next one, and I could not have her in this list, is a Hoya that has really won me over. I have discussed a little bit about her before, I have talked about her, and this is Hoya australis Lisa. So Hoya Lisa is, hold on, let me first of all, because this one is one of the few Hoyas that I do not have in semi-hydro. I have her in my chunky mix and in this very, very cute pot, but she's dripping, yeah. Anyway, so Hoya australis Lisa, it's the inner variegated version. Let me try to turn this for you. The leaves can be quite big, quite nice, and the new leaves, as you can see here, come in red hue, and then they get this lovely variegation. I do love the back of the leaves as well. It reminds me a bit of heuschkeliana. If you see this wavy pattern, continues on Lisa, that what heuschkeliana had on the back. This is very similar, but of course in a much larger size. And I had mentioned that before, like when I first got this, I got this actually last October, and she was up to here. The last time, like to leaf cutting, I think, something like that. And then the first growth that she had were these tiny leaves. And I was thinking that, okay, if this is what she's gonna get, then I don't know why all the fuss is happening around her name. And then she started giving me these amazing big leaves. And actually this one is also, I don't know, like I'm not sure, I think this is a bipolar Hoya, like I think she thinks it's a carrier. You see here the hard leaf. No, joking aside, this is mechanical damage, but yeah, it's like she's super nice. She's super nice. And I have to say, people are saying that Australis Lisa is a very slow grower. This is not the case for me. I mean, you see all this new growth within just half a year. Like I got it October, yeah, half a year ago, and she has all this new growth. So I don't know, and nothing special in terms of care is happening to her. So I cannot really say that according to my personal experience she is a slow grower. Actually, exactly the opposite. Now, next one, let's see which one. Okay, I'm gonna go for this one. This is the Kentiana inner variegated. So I got this one maybe a year ago. Kentiana is in general an easy Hoya to take care of. But I got this as, hold on, I have here a twin here. A cutting like that big, like 3 leaves, 1.5 node, not even 2 full nodes. So I normally get most of my Hoyas like that big, and I prefer to grow them myself. This one in particular, root mealies, and this is why she's in quarantine, sort of. That one also had root mealies, and this is why when I found the second one I got her as a backup, just in case, you know, the first one dies. But she recovered nicely. And she has just started growing. So Kentiana, by the way, there is, and I have recently discussed or heard or learned about this from Hoya Guru that I happen to know through Instagram. So that guy mentioned, and he's pretty spot on after some research that I did, that there is no known Weyerii. So if you have anything labeled as Weyerii variegated, is 99.9% a Kentiana variegated, not the other way around. I thought it was the other way around, apparently it's not. So you can see the growth here. I do love the pink hue. This one, by the way, is growing on a normal LED light. I do not have here under T8, so I guess they get this purple pink hue regardless of the very strong T5, T8 grow lights, or, you know, normal grow lights. I do have here this one again, semi-hydro, and I do have here in Pavkal. I guess he likes it. I don't have any issues. I started using Pavkal for all the plants when I'm rerooting plants with root mealies. And this is why puffcal is technically almost black, very dark brown. So let me just grab a tip. You see, it's like super dark. So in case you use transparent containers, like, and I would highly recommend that, like, it's highly advisable to do this. So in general, it is, personally I recommend having a transparent pots, at least when you have plants that you are not 100% sure about whether they have root mealy, or you are afraid of root rot, or things that might be having to do anything with the roots. Get some transparent containers. That said, puffcal is ideal for that because it is almost black, like very dark brown. So in case there is any root mealies, I can immediately spot them. Very easy. Root mealies are white, this is black, and super easy to spot. So this one was kentiana inner variegated, or tricolor, as it's also it can be labeled. Next one I'm gonna show you incrassata inner variegated. This is it. It's quite a nice Hoya. I don't have many things to say about her. I got her as a relatively big plant already from a local collector here, and actually she's no fuss. Like, I got her in this chunky mix. She's not in self-watering container, as you can see. I kept her exactly like that. She's growing nicely, no issues. Already given me here a new shoot. So she's not the fastest grower, I have to give her that, because like my normal incrassata, the non-variegated version, grows much faster. But nevertheless, no fuss Hoya, hardy in general, I would say, thick leaves, so quite nice. The variegation, the inner variegation, is also very pretty. I do not have here under strong lights, I have here under a natural light, this one, so maybe this is why she's not growing as fast as some of my other variegated Hoyas. But the good thing is that she has kept so far the variegation relatively okay. Like one, I don't know if you can see here, for example, these leaves which are new are with almost no variation, just a little bit. These which are new have some, so it's like a hit and miss, I would say. But I'm thinking that if I move here to stronger light, maybe she will get some more variegation, I don't know. In general, have this in mind whenever you have variegated Hoyas and you want them to have more variegation than they have right now. A good rule of thumb to try and achieve this is put them under a higher light. Usually this is how, for example, a carnosa Argentea princess that is infamous for reverting back to Novagost. I know that whoever has an Argentea princess, of course, yes, okay, it's the DNA, it's the genetics, but also if you have them under strong grow lights, chances are that they will not revert, or let's say they will keep part of the variegation they have. That said, mine reverted, so I'm not sure if this is the case for the Argentea princess in particular. But anyway, so yeah, incrassata, actually, hold on, I have the normal one here. Okay, so you see, just for comparison, this is the normal incrassata. You see the lovely, like I love the leaves. They are big, they are luscious, they are very shiny on the front and a bit matte on the back. I'm not sure if you can see that. Fuss-free Hoya in general, I would say. And the inner variegated version is this one. What I do not like on the variegated, I'm not sure if it's this particular plant that I got, or I don't know what is the case. She does have one shiny, let's say, leaf here and here, but the leaves that she came with are quite dull looking. So I'm not sure what is the case, but I would love to have some shiny front leaves, same as my Lisa, for example, has. So yeah, this is my non-variegated, this is the variegated one. Easy to take care, highly recommend, quite nice Hoya in general. And let me put this back in. Alright, now let's go to my nemesis. This is my, which I had all along by my side because it's tiny. This is my Carnosa compacta albomarginata, or outer variegated Carnosa compacta. Guys, I had this since November 2023, and the only growth that I got from her is technically this, okay? And she has also lost a few leaves, like she's in, she does not have mealybugs, first of all, because compacta is very hard, and if she gets mealybugs, then it's very hard to get rid of them because of all these, you know, like, I'm not sure how these are called, corners? No. Swings? No. Anyway, from the you see how it is. So if they get into this crevice, then it's almost impossible to take the mealybug out with a cotton tip or anything else. Does not have mealybugs, does not have mites, flat mites or anything else, no pests whatsoever. I have sulfured the heck out of her, and I have been sulfuring her almost all the time, just to make sure that, you know, this is not a flat mite case. She had at the very beginning, and you can see the woody, I'm not sure if it is visible, the woody here, the woody part, but all this new growth, no mites. And actually, hold on, let me take this out so it's easier for you to see. And I mean, I don't know what else to do. Like, I recently moved here to a smaller pot. I had here in a slightly bigger pot, and I thought, okay, maybe she has root rot, and I haven't noticed because it doesn't make sense. Like, okay, I understand that it would take her a bit more time because it's a very small specimen to fill up the the pot with roots, but it doesn't make sense to take 2.5 years, okay? So I was thinking, actually, when I was forming this list, whether I should put my Crimson Queen, my outer variegated, or this one in the list, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna put this one, so people can understand that it's not always, you know, fine and dandy. Sometimes you do have issues with your Hoyas, like this one. 2.5 years, this is what I get, okay? Like 2 new leaves, that's it. So anyway, would not recommend apparently, but still she's super pretty. Like, I do like that I have a, I would call it zombie plant, to be honest. Like, she doesn't grow, and I don't know, like she's just there for 2.5 years, which is very convenient for me because I do not have to find a new place to put her when she grows up, because she just doesn't. So anyway, Carnosa compacta outer variegated, super nice, super cute plant. I love compactas in general, but I don't know if I would get another one. They're expensive-ish, very, very slow growers, actually no growers. So if you can find a sort of, let's say, relatively established plant, maybe go for it if you are really into this. And then the last one, which I got as cuttings, I would say, technically. Like maybe, okay, not cuttings, but not a huge plant, is my lacunosa inner variegated. There are I don't know even how many different clones of lacunosa variegated, how many cultivars, how many, like every single, there in general there are so many lacunosas, I have lost count. I'm not a lacunosa, I was not, let me correct myself, I was not a lacunosa girl in general, because I thought I was killing them, but I think that I broke the code of lacunosa. So now I'm happy to say that they are one of the best parts of my collection. So this one I got as a lacunosa inner variegated. There are so many different varieties and clones. I'm not sure if this is one of them or not, but if you are not sure, guys, do not call your plants however you think they are called. So for example, even the Crimson Queen that I do have and is a Crimson Queen, still it needs to be from a very specific origin to be called Crimson Queen, from a very specific cultivar. You cannot call any carnosa outer variegated that you find Crimson Queen. This is not the case. You call them Hoya carnosa outer variegated. Same for the carnosa princess. Same for the lacunosas. Like this one, for example, I got as a lacunosa inner variegated. I'm not gonna call her, I don't know, Asami or however they are called now. There's so many different names that the growers are using to advertise and market their Hoyas. I'm not a fan of that. Like, okay, if you have the exact origin or you bought a very specific specimen from the grower and you know that this is indeed the X lacunosa, then okay, feel free to use the name. Other than that, no, I would say this is a Hoya lacunosa inner variegated. Nevertheless, okay, I'm stamping the rant about the naming of the different cultivars. I got this one as a small lacunosa only last October. I was counting the months, sorry it took so long. So yeah, I got this 7 months ago, and you see the growth here, you see the pattern. It has some sort of pinkish, pinkish branches, and okay, see, it's close, and all the new growth is also has some pink hue. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera. I do have here very close to T8, and this is because I realized that, oh, she's also, by the way, quite thirsty, and that's why I have here in Pond semi-hydro. I've realized that she's growing nicely when she has bright light, so that's why I have given her this favor, and I have put her under my T8, or let's say on the side of my T8. If I have to choose one among, oh well, no, I cannot choose just one, but she's in my top 3 of the variegated Hoyas for sure. Like I love the very small leaves, and again, okay, another thing, Kentiana and lacunosa, I don't know, in my mind they should be the same. I'm not a botanist, I'm far from expert, so I would not say that, but this is a very good example from exactly the same plant. Okay, it's the same root that has branched out. You get this, which does give Kentiana vibes because it has this sort of heart shape. Can you see that? And then again, same plant, same root. Okay, this is another branch, so she has branched out in 1, 2, 3. These two exactly the same plant. You see the difference. This was actually half of it, I think, maybe more or less, up to here I would say, was from the original plant, from the seller when I got it. This is all brand new. So you see the difference, right? Yet it's the same plant. So I would not say that, okay, yeah, half of the branch is corneliana and half is lacunosa. But again, I'm far from expert. I just call everything lacunosa. You will never hear me calling a plant corneliana. So lacunosa inner variegated is the last one. If you are into lacunosas, I'm pretty sure that you know that there are so many different variegated versions. I do not have that many. That's actually my only variegated lacunosa. But I love her. She's for sure in one of my top 3 variegated Hoyas at the moment. Other things that you need to notice. In Principia, the needs that the non-variegated species has, they are the same for the variegated one. The only thing that I would do a little bit different is maybe put them under a little bit more light. Besides Bella. Bella does not like too high of light. She turns a little bit ugly, let's say. All the rest, yes. If you do have variegated plants, then I think that a bit more light would not hurt them. Actually, it would help them, and not only not lose the variegation, but also have a bit more vivid variegation or better hues, like hues of pink or purple in some cases, as we saw for the kentiana or for the heuschkeliana. So everyone, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I am curious to know what is your favorite variegated Hoyas, or which are the variegated Hoyas that you may not have but you want to get. For me, for example, Lee Prism on the wish list for quite a while, probably will remain there. But yeah, she's like my personal favorite when it comes to variegated Hoyas. What about you? And if you did like what you saw, please like and subscribe, I guess. As you may have noticed, for the viewers that have been watching me for a while, I'm not the most frequent YouTuber. I don't even consider myself one. I just upload videos whenever I have something to tell you or whenever I have some new Hoyas to show you. So yeah, but if you do appreciate my effort, I would really appreciate your help in subscribing to my channel. So until next time, thank you all for watching, and I will be seeing you hopefully soon. Bye!